So hello good people of the internet, it is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Woo Woo. And in this episode we're going on another Randonaut excursion. Only this time, it's going to get really creepy. So welcome adventurers, and welcome to another Randonaut outing. I think I may have been pronouncing that slightly wrong. I have a tendency to accent on the O, and it might be more Randonuat than Randonuat. Randonuat kind of sounds like Randy Nuts, but here we are at again. I'm in the field, as is my wont of an evening. Over there is an old hospital that's still in use, like an old folks home now. I'm definitely trespassing on someone's land. The gate was locked. But I did not give in to the despair meme. I thought I would come out. And it's very interesting. My attractor point is just over there, and I'll show you it. So if you're not aware of what randonauting is, I have done a previous video that you can check out, or you can get all the information about how to do it, how to get the app, the principle and theory behind it and all that if you go to the subreddit, which is Randonauts, or Randonauts, or www.reddit.com/r/Randonauts. And all the information is there. There's a sticky post with very simple information, but all of the more detailed information is there as well. So check it out. So it's somewhere in here. This doesn't really look inviting, to be quite honest. Well, it's inviting in a kind of a mysterious way, but it's full of poo. So I might have cow poo. So I have to be careful of where I walk. So I'm getting close now, but I thought I'd come into these kind of trees because they were seemed quite magical. Mysterious? Is that a word? Mysterious. So there you can see a nice stone just set in the middle of a tree. And it's kind of hollow. I have a feeling... Hold on, look at this. How cool is this? So far an awful lot of my attractor points have got me to places where people seem to drink in public, like teenagers and stuff like that. Which is interesting. Perhaps I'm... tapping into the local underage drinking scene here. So my actual attractor point is just down here. Right, so I found the attractor spot, and it's not at all creepy, it's not at all weird, and it's not at all ominous or any of those things, but it's actually quite cool. It is creepy, it is ominous, and it's weird. So let's have a look. And as you can see, it's just here in the middle of a field for no reason. The thing that I find really interesting about all this is the fact that there's anything in any of these locations at all, whether it be like a doll's head, which is super cool and super interesting and very high strange, or an animal bone, or a leaf, or a plant, or whatever it is, something like a stub of a tree like we got in the last time, that there always seems to be something of significance there, more than just you're putting a bit of pareidolia into it, or you're bringing your own mind to it, or it's confirmation bias. Because at the end of the day, the doll's head is not something that you'd expect in a hedge, in an open hedge in a field full of cows outside, down the road from an old folks hospital. But there it is nonetheless, and I find that extremely interesting, and certainly seems that there is always, so far on my trips and my randonauting outings, there has been an end. Something is finally, at the end there is something, rather than you're just walking around or something. I got one during the week which I thought was really interesting, and I didn't get the joke until the end. When you want to get an attractor point or something, or an attractor point in the app, you put in get attractor, and it sends you your place. And it sent us to, because I was with my wife at the time, and it sent us to this garage, a tractor garage, and there was tractors and there was all this. And it wasn't until later, much later, I goes, oh hold on, I asked to get a tractor and I got an actual tractor, but I didn't notice it at the time because I just obviously wasn't just on that wavelength of seeing it in that way. But that interesting. Creepy doll's head, the hedge in a field full of cows. Hit. So I went for a second attractor, and there's actually one really, really close, and it's It's like 3 point something. So while I'm here, I'm going to go down. It's funny when people talk about the despair meme that you start feeling a sense of dread as you go in these places. This is the first time I've actually felt it. This kind of sort of low-key despair, anxiety. But I suppose I am trespassing. I am in a field full of very large animals. There's that too. This amazing tree. It amazes me, all of these magical places that are so close to where I live, and yet I would never in my life have come to them other than I'm doing this. I know that's the point of it, but like, look at this. Look how amazingly sort of fairy tale magic this place looks. So I didn't actually make it. I didn't actually make it to the second attractor point for a number of reasons. One, when I got close to the cows, they started getting a bit agitated, and there's some young calves around, and I thought they might just get a bit too protective. Now, I'm not needlessly afraid of cows in any ways. There's cows in the fields around my house most of the year, but I just didn't feel right. Secondly, then the farmer came out, and he was down close to where the attractor point was, and the despair meme kicked in, and I just didn't want to interact with him. I tried to explain why I was there. Then some young teenager came into the field, and I think he's trying to go to the toilet and got quite freaked when he seen me. So I want to leave him in peace. Oh, God knows what they're at, kids these days. But anyway, I'm counting the first attractor as a very much a success. And I've also learned on these trips that I need a pair of sunglasses that fit me and don't just keep sliding down my nose. Anyway, so while I was in the area and I had a bit of extra time, I thought I would kind of have a look around the area. I don't know it. It's not up until even a few days ago. I didn't even know this place existed. I didn't know there was a hospital there. And I've been living in this place 10 years, mind you. And I certainly didn't know that there was kind of this forested area. But my wife was telling me it's where they used to always go when they were young to drink and to get away from the parents and shove it to the man and all those things. But it's a nice wee trail around here. I'll show you. And that's kind of the really cool thing about Ireland, particularly where I live, in that you're so close to places like this, but yet literally just there is the town. So you're completely urban, meters away from completely rural, which is great because you get obviously the best of both worlds and all of that, and it suits me down to the ground. Now I live, as I say, and it's a town officially, but it's really a village. I was born in the biggest town in Ireland, so I have a superiority complex when it comes to smaller towns, I suppose. But this is lovely, like, again, randomness. Enjoying it. Have a look at this. Again, I forgot to bring a bag for rubbish. And it really could have done with it because there's an awful lot of trash around here that I could have helped clean up. But it's something I will get on top of and do it for the next time. I did do it in one of my other kind of outings, not the one I did the video for, but a few others after that. And I did pick up a lot. There was a dead rat, a half-eaten dead rat, and I wasn't picking it up. But what I need to get is some sort of gloves, just because I don't want to be touching the dirtiness of this planet. But, yeah, this is amazing. If I was in like a different country and I was I was on a holiday, I'd be going, wow, this country is so amazing, and yet it's, less than a kilometre away from where I actually live. So the really great thing about doing this and coming here is that I found loads of places where I could do videos, which is great. You'd be undisturbed relatively. Now I did meet a group of kids with a very loud ghetto blaster, or whatever they're called these days. And but yeah, there's some lovely places where I can sit, have chats, talk away. Now that we're coming into the summer, I'll definitely be able to come down here and do stuff. I'm thrilled. This is brilliant. This has been a great great adventure, a great discovery. Definitely loving this randonauting. It's given me a new lease on adventure, or on life, or on magic. Certainly on my magic, and engaging the high strangeness. So delighted I found it. And if you haven't done it yet, you should, because it's really good. And no matter what, even if no high strangeness occurs for you, it's still good to get out and discover new places and find places that you would never have seen or never been about. Look what I found. How awesome is that? So yeah, good people of the internet, until our next adventure, be well.